I don't think Turkish NATO membership is a major problem. At least that will need some kind of clarification and discussion, because that will be for the first time in the BRICS.
NATO membership will be not problem for the Russia or China.
Yeah, I believe it can be, this problem can be overcome, because what is more important is to better understand what Turkey really wants. Turkey is a big country, a major economy, which is not taking any side in this new Cold War, which is in constructive relations with everyone and acting independently. That will provide huge benefits, and this is how Turkey would benefit from BRICS membership.
Hello, dear Hariciye followers. Today we have a special guest from the Moscow HSE University, Mr. Vasily Kashin. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Today we have a trend topic about the BRICS all over the world. They are talking about what will be happen in the future with the BRICS. Firstly, I would like to ask, what are the BRICS and what is the BRICS mission in the future?
Well, BRICS is a club of a group of developing countries which have a certain set of common interests in the fields related to global governance. These are very different countries with different political systems, different ideologies, and different economies. But they all have something in common. For example, they want certain redistribution of power within the global institutions. They want to pursue changes in the global economic system, in the global trade system, and in a number of global issues such as climate change, such as environment in general, etc. So because of that, they are developing cooperation on a wide set of priorities. However, because these are very different countries, and some of them even have certain problems and even security concerns about one another, for example, China and India, BRICS cannot become a kind of alliance, especially anti-Western alliance or alliance at all, a military bloc or anything like that. It's not even an international organization. It doesn't have any kind of charter. It doesn't have its own secretariat, headquarters, or something like that. So this is how it is developing, and this is why it's so appealing to many countries around the world.
But these meetings are very important as well. We know that for the Putin, this summit is seen as both symbolically and practically important for also Russia. What do you think? How do you evaluate this importance of these meetings for Russia, and how will this summit affect the Russia global agenda?
So first of all, if we talk about Russian goals in BRICS, of course now with all most economic ties to the West being severed, Russia is especially interested in developing certain areas of cooperation within BRICS, especially in the field of international finance, in international financial infrastructure, financial transactions, international trade, international industrial cooperation. And Russia has prepared a number of plans in cooperating in this, especially in finance, that will be revealed during the summit. Second, it's a unique opportunity to meet a large number of political leaders of non-Western countries, and these are the countries which are expected to play a critical role in the end of Ukrainian crisis, because what currently is happening, both sides, Russia and the West, are competing for the sympathies of these very countries. And of course, I believe that Russian President Vladimir Putin will use this opportunity to meet all these leaders and explain the Russian view of this situation. And there will be also strictly bilateral negotiations, which are devoted to usual agenda of bilateral relations, such as trade, industrial cooperation, energy cooperation, etc.
So is there a possibility that BRICS will intervene in global crisis areas? For example, nowadays we see in Gaza, also in Ukraine, Iran and Israel tension that's confronting is going to be rise day by day. So BRICS has not taken a stance as an organization on these issues. And could this situation change in the future? I mean, the BRICS can have a role for the global diplomacy as well the military conflict solving problem like this?
Well, it's difficult for BRICS as a structure to do that because of differences between the countries. There are too many different members and interests. However, last year in November 2023, BRICS managed to hold an online summit dedicated to the situation in Gaza, and at that time they managed to express some common position calling for an early end to hostilities. Of course, it couldn't go any further because there are differences in positions of various BRICS countries. Again, India has its own agenda on the Middle East and its own relations, for example, with Israel, etc. However, some position was expressed. I think it's not likely that BRICS will be especially active in resolving this kind of military political crisis, but the individual countries, many of the members of the BRICS, which are participating in this kind of activities, they can play a very important role. And of course, Russia will use this opportunity to get additional support. And we remember that China has its own position, India has its own position. There is also a common Chinese-Brazilian initiative. Unfortunately, Brazilian president couldn't come this time, but still there will be a Brazilian foreign minister, and there will be an opportunity to discuss all that.
So, as you said, the BRICS right now, it's like the economic and economically more on the front right now.
Yes.
So another question is, Russia has proposed an independent payment system for the BRICS members, and countries against for the U.S. dominancy and in the global financial system. As these days, the most of scholars are talking about the de-dollarizations and make a alternative payment system for the international trade systems. So what are the main features of this plan for BRICS, and how likely it's to be success for the future?
So, of course, there are a lot of discussions about financial cooperations in the BRICS. Some people even talk about common BRICS currency, which is pure fantasy at this point. What Russia is proposing is a number of specific, largely technical measures. For example, first of all, we need to develop our own system of transferring financial messages, which would be able to replace SWIFT, because at this point, because most of the BRICS countries don't have systems on their own, even when we trade in our national currencies, we have to transmit information mostly using SWIFT, which gives the American and European regulators all the information which is necessary to impose unilateral sanctions. At this point, trade with Russia and Iran is most affected, but we should remember that the use of unilateral sanction in US foreign policy is growing. Basically, the whole US foreign policy is based on two instruments: unilateral sanctions and military force. And at some point, anyone can be affected. And anyway, Russia and Iran are rather big countries and big suppliers of important commodities. All of the BRICS countries are trading with both of them. And that means that even for those BRICS countries which are having good relations with the West, it makes sense to have an alternative system which will be used, for example, at first solely to trade with Russia and Iran, maybe later to trade within BRICS, but it will give them additional leverage against any kind of Western pressure. And we hope that we can move forward with this agenda. So there will be a set of technical measures, technological steps to create a necessary system in which we feel Russia, China, and also, I believe, India have some experience. Then we can, we'll need to take some regulatory step. We'll need to take some steps to further facilitate trade in national currencies, and we will be free from this kind of pressure, because at this point, what the Americans are doing, they're trying to hit trade between Russia and other countries, even when it is conducted in national currencies. And in many cases, which was basically the case with Russian-Turkey trade, they hit purely civilian trade in consumer goods. And that's just hurting consumers, hurting economies, employment, etc.
So you mean it will be protect themselves from the US-led sanction, by the way?
Yes, we will be, the Americans, the American regulators, the American authorities will not be able to get the necessary information about our bilateral trade when we conduct it in national currencies, because it will not be conducted through the Western system, through SWIFT. We will be completely disconnected from the Western financial system when we conduct our trade in national currencies. And if a Turkish businessman wants to sell something to a Russian company and get Russian currency for that, he will be able to do it safely because he will know that there is no way the Americans can learn about that.
So is it will be any currency as like the digital currency or cryptocurrency for to use that? Or before that, I would like to ask, before that, the China had announcement about the maybe Chinese yuan can be used for this plan. So it will be digital currency or something like that.
No. Digital currency is also something. Digital currency, cryptocurrency are also other means which are being explored to protect the trade from sanctions, as well as some other methods. But what we are talking about is just the ability to safely use the national currencies to trade to each other. And that means we had plenty of trade in national currencies when we were buying something from other countries and paying in our currency or in their own currency, because it's not a problem for us. We, for example, have plenty of Chinese renminbi, which we can use for trade with third countries. Because we usually have trade surplus, but the problem is that the Americans can hit financial institutions even when they process trade in national currencies. Basically, what happened, for example, between us and China, they started to hit Chinese banks, threaten them, and they hoped that it would affect Russian-Chinese trade in energy and in strategic industrial goods. They completely failed, because big state-owned entities, they are capable of solving these problems. But the small and medium enterprises, they were hit severely. Guys who are selling something like clothing or furniture, they were the ones who suffered the most. And this problem is being resolved, but it's still difficult sometimes to process payments, and that means that Chinese businessmen are losing dozens of billions of dollars of profits, and Russian consumers have to pay more for the same amount of goods, and it's bad for everyone. It's bad for global economy. This is the problem we are basically trying to solve.
So let's talk about China, as we mentioned about that. So Russia and China relation getting close day by day after which we call the second Cold War era started. They are getting more closely, and they are trying to have some friendship against for the US and US-led countries. So what do you think about that? Is that China is trying to be balancing diplomacy, or China trying to get more closer with Russia?
We have extremely close relations, which are becoming closer day by day, and China never used its economic influence to influence Russia's actions on Ukraine. They never even tried. What they are doing is that they are using this situation to further expand economic cooperation in Russia, because basically the current conflict has allowed China to take over certain sectors of the Russian market, especially cars, some types of industrial equipment, some types of home appliances, etc. These are many dozens of billions of dollars per year. And second, they used it to further boost strategic relations with Russia, and we have a lot of activities going on, joint activities in the fields of military, a lot of joint exercises, a lot of exchanges of delegations, etc. And we are also boosting cooperation on a wide range of international issues. At the same time, there is a principle of bilateral relations that we never declare our relations an alliance. It will never be called that. Although if we look at the substance, it's already resembling an alliance pretty much, because you have a lot of policy coordination, and you have constant joint military training and growing military interoperability. So the idea is that if there is an acute conflict with the United States, we'll have at least an option to react together on the US aggression.
So Turkey from the West, what do you think about that? If Turkey will join BRICS, how it's affect the international and regional policies about the Turkey and Russia?
So, as far as I understand, the principle of Turkish foreign policy for decades already is maximizing the partnership, having as many major partners as possible to strengthen its own negotiations position, especially vis-a-vis the West and Europe, but also against any other major force in the world. This is a successful strategy which basically serves Turkey well. At the same time, Turkish intention to join BRICS might be viewed with some certain suspicion among some of the BRICS members, because some of them might be afraid that Turkey will use this just as bargaining chip to get some short-term benefits. And, you know, BRICS is pretty vulnerable in that sense, because all decisions are made by consensus. And so it's important to better understand the strategic intentions of the Turkish side concerning the BRICS. In general, it should make the whole mechanism much stronger, with addition of another influential member. And I don't think Turkish NATO membership is a major problem. Well, it might be a problem because NATO currently identifies two of the BRICS members as threats, as actually Russia is identified as threat, and China is identified by NATO as major security challenge. Of course, we know that Turkey occupies some very special place within NATO. It's quite different from many of the NATO countries, but at least that will need some kind of clarification and discussion, because that will be for the first time in the BRICS. Of course, in the BRICS, you know, India and China in the past had bloody skirmishes on border, and the latest of them happened not long time ago in 2020, and they have a very big unresolved border issue between them. So, but still, you know, this is something which will need to be discussed.
So you mean the NATO membership will be not problem for the Russia or China for the Turkish BRICS?
Yeah, I believe it can be, this problem can be overcome, because what is more important is to better understand what Turkey really wants to do within BRICS, just to get more clarity. And in this case,
how Russia can get benefit from the Turkish membership?
Well, first of all, it will be additional safeguard for our relations, because at least within the BRICS, and if country becomes a member of BRICS, it will be already very difficult to join any kind of sanctions, Western sanctions in future, because it will go against so many BRICS documents and commitments. That will mean that no matter what happens in Turkish politics in future, there will be some safeguards which will be provided by the whole body of agreements which exist within BRICS, and Turkey will have to join them. That's one thing which is important. And second, we will have Turkey on board for supporting some of the BRICS initiatives, which is an additional and very significant player. And that will just make the whole enterprise stronger. But, the specific intentions of Turkey, what the specific plans, this is the most important. I believe this is something which will need to be discussed, because, of course, there is some skepticism, because there are various views what Turkey wants to achieve by joining the BRICS.
So another question is, this is the last question. With the BRICS, if Turkey had the BRICS membership and Turkey had the geopolitically important role on the middle corridor of Belt and Road Initiative, before that China and Turkey had the many of agreements join the Belt and Road Initiative and use the middle corridors, but all the agreements as we see now, it's not achieved at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So with the BRICS and with the Russia and China, with this all initiative as we look, so can Turkey get any important role for the between East and West trade, like middle corridor? Is it possible?
I believe it will be possible, and it will be increasingly possible in the future. China, of course, committed to middle corridor, but not much happened, because under normal situation, middle corridor was never too competitive if we compared it to normal sea trade route, which is going through South China Sea, etc., or to ground transit through Russia, which could just go through the Russian system of railroads and go to Europe. Now the situation has changed, and it will change in future, and that might benefit the Turkish role in the trade, because of course the relations between Russia and the West are destroyed. Not much direct cooperation is happening. China has greater interests in middle corridor. It's not like complete change, but something is happening. You might see that, for example, the project of Anaklia port in Georgia, which was killed by the Americans, by the American pressure in 2019, is now renewed. Basically, China is very active in Southern Caucasus now, in relations with especially Georgia and Azerbaijan. And increasingly, China is also coming under sanctions, and that will happen more in future. So there will be additional need in an intermediary, just as much as a lot of Russian foreign trade is conducted through Turkey. China will at some point find itself in almost a similar position, when there will be increased need in intermediaries, and the geographical location is just one part of the story. But equally important is that Turkey is a big country, a major economy, which is not taking any side in this new Cold War, which is in constructive relations with everyone, and is acting independently, and that will provide huge benefits, and this is how Turkey could benefit from BRICS membership.
Mr. Kashin, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.